Tina, hi, welcome.
Hi, Eleni. It's really nice to be here. Thank you.
Excited to dive into the work you've done, sharing your experience of working with year one. So you're based in Wales, so that's ages 5 and 6. For reference, for others in different, education systems. I want to dive right in with this first question of why you decided to introduce EFT into the year one classroom.
Well, I've worked a lot in year one. I originally started introducing it in reception, so it's been going quite a few years now. I've worked in the school where I work for over 14 years now. So imagine there's been lots of different types of children, lots of different needs. Over 14 years, many, many children with many different emotional needs, educational needs, and of course, behavioral needs. And as you work with these children, you realize that not one size fits all when it comes to meeting these needs, As a teacher or a practitioner or a teaching assistant, you start to realize that when you're dealing with individual children with individual needs and backgrounds, you need a big toolbox. You need to support and teach those children, and you're constantly looking for a new way in, a new angle to meet those needs for everybody. That angle can be strategies for dealing with different tricky situations, looking for different lines of communication to meet learners' needs, and also to find something that works whole class as well as one-to-one. Because of course, it's lovely to work one-to-one with each child, but sometimes you want to teach the whole class something and you need something that fits in with that.
Yeah.
So in my school where I work at the moment, we were given a research project linked with our performance management, and it was relating to well-being and health of the children. So immediately I was given this and I thought, I know what this is going to be, it's because I've done it myself and I love it. So that was the kind of way in my school. So first of all, it was try and find some resources I can use, because there wasn't a lot around at the time. I had to adapt a lot of what I used from working with adults, because that's what I was used to. And then we had a quick chat with the headmistress, quick chat with my class teacher at the time to see how to slowly introduce this into the class where I was working. So that's how it all came about. And from there, it went from strength to strength, really.
And I love how there's this natural transition from using the benefit of tapping for yourself, and then there's the opportunity that comes and you've got that collaboration and support with the head teacher and discussing how to apply it to kids. The cutting edge is one of in the early days of introducing it into schools before all these resources that are coming out now are out. So yeah, so thank you for leading the way there for us. So in terms of this, how, for those of us who are new to introducing tapping into schools, how did you introduce it after you had that discussion then with the head teacher? What was the kind of more nuts and bolts practical part of the introduction part for the kids?
So I looked at everything on the guild, on the EFT guild that I'm part of. I looked at everything I could find on the internet. And eventually I came up with a few introductions, which I'll have on the slides, Eleni, if you want to pop them on for me.
Yeah.
Okay, right, lovely. So thank you.
Okay, here we go.
Right, so originally I found this, Tap and Play by Debbie Teichman. It's a CD. I sent off for it, and we only ever used one song in there, but there's quite a few songs. And as you know, children learn so amazingly and quickly from rhymes, rhythms, songs, dancing, moving. This thing has everything. So I introduced the first song, A Happy Child, and they sang, they stood up, they did all the actions. It introduces them to all the tapping points, and it's really lovely. It's catchy. We played it after playtime sometimes. If you know what it's like, it gets windy outside and all the children get really hyped up and excited, and it was a lovely way of calming them down and teaching them the tapping points, and they were ready to focus and ready to learn. So that was the first thing that I found. And then if you go to the next slide. So this is an amazing book by Brad Yates, and it's called The Wizard's Wish. And it's about a wizard who shows his people in the village how to tap. And he calls them tapping out the yuckies. We had a big hat in school. I laminated some yuckies, and they gave them feelings. So one would be sadness, one would be worry, one would be fear. And we pulled them all out of the hat and we read the story. And it's a really lovely story to introduce why you tap, how your body feels, and just a basic introduction to the meridian points and all of them things. And the children love it. They love the science of it, and they love the book. And there's also even a YouTube that you could have a look at on an iPad with them. And I used to take them out one by one if they were a bit anxious, a bit nervous, and we listened to it on there. So that was something else that I found very quickly. That was one of my first resources. So these are my tapping teddies that I made myself. Each year, there's 3 years now that I've been working with, and each year has got a tapping teddy. They absolutely love them. They sit in the wellbeing corner, and they're used for all kinds of things. They're used for cuddling. They're used for calming children down if they don't want to come in the morning. I take them to the gate and the children hug them and they come in. We used to sing our song from the CD. I'd get one child to come to the front and she would tap on the teddy. And they used to love that. And they used to love me choosing a child each day to come to the front. They also take that teddy into the wellbeing corner when they're not feeling great. And you can hear them talk to the teddy, tell them exactly what's going on, all their worries that they may not tell me, and they tap on them at the same time. So they're a wonderful resource. They're really easy to make, and the children love them. So that's our tapping teddies, Woody and Tappy.
I love it. Just a quick question for clarifying for our audience here. Are those stickers? How did you make them?
Oh no, they're little sew-on buttons. They're really easy to sew on. They've got the little like pocket at the back that you can sew them on. As long as you sew them on really tight. And I mean, you're not giving them to children under 3, and they're always being watched. So they're not going to take them off and put them in their mouths. I have to watch them regularly and kind of update them if they need a bit of sewing. But no, they're buttons. So this is an app from the Peaceful Hearts Network, and we use this. It's a little cartoon character called Winky, and he taps along. And I sometimes put this on after break again, after playtimes, whenever we need a calm down session. The children absolutely love it, and they tap along with Winky quite happily for 2 minutes on the carpet, and everything comes down. Calmness returns to the classroom. I also sent this home as a self-help link when we had lockdown a few years ago, and the parents really, really were thankful for it. They tapped along with their children, and it's just something that everyone can download. So this is a great app for anyone to have. Some children tend to like certain things, don't they? Like Teletubbies or dinosaurs, or one child in my class likes PJ Masks, Catboy. So what I do sometimes is I print out some really easy printables. They color them in and they stick stickers on the tapping points, and then they can tap along with these. They're really handy for nursery. You can get just teddy bear colors, and they love finding the tapping points, and then they can take them home. It's just an easy, accessible thing for them to join in along with. Okay, so I introduced this about 1.5 years ago. I found that children coming in sometimes didn't want to speak. They don't want to interact with you. They don't know what's wrong with them. They don't know why they got these feelings in their body. They don't know what those feelings are. So I introduced this. It's a very quick setup, so excuse the basicness of it. It's just an A3 sheet that I've laminated, and I've stuck all kinds of your colors, your body parts, your feelings, your animals, hot and cold. And then what I did was I did another sheet for them to stick it on. So we go out and I'll have a little chat, and they will always join in with this. They love it. So I say, there's no right or wrong, pick something. So where are you feeling this today? Where are you feeling this anger, this sadness? So they pick off a body part, they stick it on. And how does that feel? Is that a hot feeling? Is that a cold feeling? So they choose one of them. What color is this feeling? What shape is this feeling? And if I was a weather, what would you be? Would you be a rain cloud? Would you be a thunderstorm? Would you be a rainbow with a sun behind? And they just choose all the bits, they stick them on, and then maybe I can ask them if I can tap on their hand. So we talk about it, I'll tap on their hand, or they can tap on the bear. And they love that 10 minutes bonding session. They love being able to describe what's in their bodies, where they feel it, how they feel it. It's been a wonderful, wonderful resource. And for whole class, then I adapted it with this simple printout. So it's exactly the same. If you colour or draw or write the word in. If it's a higher class, then they can write the word in. I've done this for the year 5 class and they've absolutely loved it. So we'll tap through that maybe 2 or 3 times, and then they'll choose a way to feel at the bottom. And I choose to feel happy, and then we'll tap through that. And this is a wonderful, wonderful resource. They love it. And I've had great results with it.
And speaking of results, you've already shared a lot of results and how it's helped students with concentration and help them with regulating their emotions and calming down after coming, from a windy day during break times, help them calm down as a group and focus and be ready to learn. I'm wondering if there's anything else you want to add before we wrap up.
Oh, yes, definitely. I've taught tapping to 2 year groups, and one of those year groups I took for 2 years. So they've had two years experience of it. And both of those classes that I've taught, I found after practicing this, they've had a great cohesion with each other. The bonding in the class has been really, really good. They're proactive with their friendships instead of reactive with like squabbles, and you get some classes that are just always squabbling. These classes seem to understand their peers a lot better, and sometimes when we've tapped in some positive affirmations, we do that a little bit, and I find that they have a higher self-esteem, they've got a higher self-regard for themselves. Their self-worth is more evident in those classes. They feel higher, they feel better. Like I said, after just a few minutes of watching the self-help regulation video, they're calmer, they're easier, they're peaceful. One thing that I absolutely love that I have to tell you is one little girl in my year 1 class came up to me in the morning, just got in, and she tapped me and she said, "Mrs. Bajjada," she said, "I really miss my mummy today, and I can feel it in my tummy as a tummy ache."
Wow. Amazing. Amazing.
Success from my body feelings chart, she's linking those 2 things, which I found I thought for her, that's going to be a tool for her whole life. To be able to link those 2 things is life-changing. So that was great.
And, and getting them early at such a young age, because even adults sometimes struggle to feel, well, where do I feel this in my body? And here is a child in year 1 making that connection between emotions and body sensations. I mean, oh gosh, very inspirational. Thanks so much for sharing these incredible tools and ways in to help with different ways, both individual and whole class, and supporting students and bringing tapping in a really fun way and accessible way for this age group. And it's interesting, you said you've also used it with year 5, some of these tools, and they love it as well. So I'm wondering if there's anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up.
I think tapping with music works really, really well as well. We find a lovely song and they all sit on the carpet and they all tap, and they love that. It's just finding different ways for different children. I just want to thank you so much, Eleni, for doing this, because it's really, really important work, and putting this summit together. It's amazing. So just thank you so much. And I'm so proud to be a part of it.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you for taking the time to do this. I appreciate you for that.